What is up, folks? This is JuiceMan Benji, and you're listening to the first episode of Squeeze the Bean podcast. And I'm with my tag team partner, Jerry Beanz. Say what's up, Jerry.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So, the first episode, we're going to talk about the state of WWE. And we're just going to run through some of the good, the bad, and just the general things that's going on, including the ratings. And I think we should start with the ratings, especially how the last few weeks it dropped to its lowest, I think.
Yeah, I think it dropped
in the history of WWE Raw. And what do you think about that? Because it's obviously steadily declined since the Monday Night Wars, which used to hit like 8 million, probably as far as 9 million, 10 million. But nowadays it's averaging around 3 or 4.
From 3 or 4 million, that's right. I think it's down to the fact that even a lot of wrestling fans agree with this. That's down to the fact that, it's been really watered down.
Yeah.
And, Monday Night Wars wasn't PG. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yep.
And, that's what used to appeal to a lot of the, bigger audience. And now they've kind of... I've spoken to a lot of wrestling fans, and obviously they're really not, content with the way that it's going.
Yeah, I guess like people like you and me and all the like hardcore wrestling fans, we still stick to it because it's wrestling. Like, that's what we love, innit?
It's
like,
wrestling.
we can't get away from it. Even though I know some friends here that just stopped watching it, and it was so easy for them. But for someone like me, I just love the drama of it all, and like it's like watching a TV show, soap opera, live action movie, all at the same time, and it's just especially when you're there live. When they went to London.
Yeah,
when we went to London a few years ago,
Yeah.
It, like, especially when you're there, it's like the crowd makes it feel so much more epic.
I mean, people really love the backstage segments.
Yeah, I was actually gonna speak about that, and there needs to be more of those. I think there's not enough anymore.
The quality of them has really stagnated, and it hasn't been too good recently.
Yeah, and obviously it's easy to blame PG, but I still think that they can get around that.
They could get around it.
All they need is just better writing, better feuds. Nowadays, the feuds, it just seems like wrestlers are just put together just for the sake of it. Like, for example, Sheamus and Randy Orton. Like, what is the feud between them two? It's just they just got thrown together. And,
just randomly, and it's not much to really work off, to be honest.
Exactly, and what was the one recently? The most random one was Neville and Bo Dallas. That happened. That lasted for 2-3 weeks.
Isn't that one like dead now?
That like ages ago, but like that was an example of just the most random feud. And it doesn't seem like there's any more thought put into any of the feuds nowadays.
I don't know if you remember all the backstage segments where they just used to plug items. You remember the Burger King one?
Yeah.
The chicken fries.
And not even that though. Remember the one where it doesn't have to be backstage. It was the one where Triple H invaded Randy Orton's home.
Oh, that one.
Segments like that, and when The Rock and Stone Cold was just fighting on a bridge, and like I think it was Stone Cold who threw him over the top.
The one that was good in the era was Cody and
Damien Sandow.
That's Damien Sandow in front of the
yeah.
That was a really good one. That's a good one.
But yeah, man, it's I know it has to appeal to children now, and I'm fine with that. Like, I can still deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just that I just want better storylines, and I guess I don't think I can There's no doubt that the wrestling has improved, like the quality of the wrestling.
Oh, for sure, I agree.
Especially NXT, like NXT, the wrestling, like they've hired so many talented wrestlers of all over the world.
Yeah.
And
really
it's paying dividends now because
people rather tune into that than Raw. To be fair with you.
Yeah, before in like Attitude Era and WCW Nitro, it used to always be about the segments and the like backstage segments and what else, like just the storylines basically, and just the promos. But nowadays I think it's more focused on the actual in-ring action, which I guess is better in a way because we're all wrestling fans at the end of the day. So I guess
because wrestling at the end of the day is wrestling.
Yeah.
So,
but it's just that they need to mix that with better storylines and better feuds and a bit more effort into why people are fighting each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And
the dirt sheets as well, man.
Yeah, dirt sheets is always been there, but it's just the fact that obviously the internet has grown, and
the
dirt sheets is just
it's
just spread like wildfire.
I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a very good example. Like now we can. Okay, for example, Sting. Imagine Sting's coming back. You know, we hear about it like a few hours before the show, and it's kind of a kill.
Yeah, I think the best. I still think WWE are capable of hiding surprises. Like, look at Dudley Boys.
Oh, that was hidden well, man.
I was like, I knew there was rumblings about Sting. He was in the area and all of that, and I didn't know what segment he would be in. Yeah. I always thought he was going to be with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I think that was the plan before SummerSlam. But that I knew he was going to be around, and by the time the main event segment came about with the statue and all of that, I just knew it was either John Cena coming out of that box, or it was going to be Sting.
I had a feeling it was Kane. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Kane was going to turn out. I'm waiting for him to go back to his monster gimmick.
I think they need to wait a bit more time for Kane. I think some people were just fed up with him by the time he had a break. So I think the longer they wait is better for him. Once he comes back, it'll have a bit more of an impact. But I think it was perfect that they got Sting, because look at the wrestlers now that could push into the main event scene. You have Cesaro, you have Kevin Owens, you probably have, who else? Obviously Randy Orton, but he was already there. Seth Rollins already defeated him.
Yeah, Dean
Ambrose, Roman Reigns, who's
Bray Wyatt, all of them.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt. I think Roman Reigns is not going to be in the main event for the next few months, so he's definitely ruled out. And then you got obviously Sheamus, Brock Lesnar obviously, but Brock Lesnar was obviously feuding with Undertaker. And who else was there? Yeah, Sheamus with the Money in the Bank. So those guys, they're not really. I wouldn't say they would have drawn more subscribers for the WWE Network.
Yeah.
For Night
Especially
Champions.
I like Sheamus in his heel gimmick. It's really good.
Yeah, exactly. Despite that mohawk.
Despite the mohawk, yeah.
But I think Sting was the perfect choice, and it's the way he's been booked. Like every single thing about Sting's involvement in WWE so far, apart from that stupid loss to Triple H. They're feeling the effects now because it just seems silly now he's in the title scene. But despite that loss to Triple H, I think everything they've done with Sting, it's very nostalgic, and it reminds me of how they booked him for the NWO and back in WCW. And it just makes me happy that they're actually using. By the way, if anyone's not figured out yet, Sting is my favorite wrestler, and the way he's been booked I just think it's epic. And I know it's been 5 months since he had that WrestleMania loss. Actually, no, it was 5 months since he killed Bo Dallas.
Yeah,
Bo Dallas is dying a lot these days, but
Bo Dallas, he's another story.
Since he gave the death drop to Bo Dallas, it's been a long time, and I've just been waiting for him to come. And I think this was the perfect time to be in the WWE Championship scene. But do you think Sting deserves a title shot, or do you think they should have waited a bit more?
Man, personally, I know you love Sting. I know. But personally, I, in my humble opinion, I thought they should have waited a bit more. I thought they should have waited.
Yes, it's fair enough, because I think with Sting, I wouldn't believe if he won against Seth Rollins clean. I think if they either got someone like John Cena to interfere, or if they had some, I guess Seth Rollins beat Sting clean, but after a 15-20 minute epic match. And then Sheamus cashes in to Seth Rollins, then they would have some sort of rematch, I guess a triple threat, Sheamus, Seth Rollins and Sting, and then Sting could take it off Sheamus. And then that would seem a bit more
I think I had 3 outcomes for the match. I think my prediction was one of them. The first one being, I know Undertaker could never play a heel role nowadays with the current crowd.
Even though they're desperate to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But they would make Undertaker interfere, and therefore costing Sting, the match obviously, and setting that up for WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, imagine how good it would be with Undertaker interfered with a Sting match while Sting was champion, and then they were fighting for the Undertaker. Title, yeah. But either I think one of them or both of them is going to retire after that WrestleMania 32 match if they ever do it.
Yeah, I think so. And the second outcome was going to be that obviously Sting gets the championship, but Kane cost Rollins the match.
Yeah, that's realistic and makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Knowing WWE creative, I don't think they'll make something that makes so much sense. But
like,
so far, Dudley Boys, awesome surprise. Sting's booking so far, apart from that not WWE WrestleMania loss. That WrestleMania loss was the only thing that has been bad about Sting so far.
Yeah.
I guess he's the only person so far that's seems like the only interesting opponent for Seth Rollins.
Sting
at this moment in time, yeah. And then what is great about WWE? I think the network. As a subscriber of a network, I think it's.
Yeah, you're gonna have to carry that one.
There's so much value for money for that. It's such a good price. You get so much content with the WWE network, and because we're always desperate for the Attitude Era to come back and all of those types of matches and all of that, TV 14 type wrestling, you're able to go back to it and just relive it again. So I guess that's one of the good things about WWE Network. Like, you can relive all the great moments about all the olden day wrestling.
You're a subscriber of the network, because I'm not. So you're gonna have to carry that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's worth all the money. Like, if someone is subscribed to the network, or they'll know, like, they know if they're a true wrestling fan, that's like the best thing ever.
Okay, fair enough. Sounds reasonable.
Especially when they got things like the NXT as well. You can watch NXT pay-per-views, NXT shows.
So it's $9.99.
Yeah,
it's $9.99 in America, but it's how much in the UK? It's like £8, £7.
It's $9.99 as well.
Oh, £9.99.
Yeah,
seriously?
There's no conversion. It's just the same price.
Fair enough.
But it's still worth it. I don't mind. Yeah,
£10 a month. It's not bad. But
so WWE Network. That's
one
awesome.
thing. Very quickly about the Dudley Boys. Yeah. I thought that was cool because, as we know, Bubba Ray came into the Royal Rumble, and after that he just went.
I think that was a good tease.
That was a very good tease, and it brought them back. Now I'm really happy.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him though. It was like back in January, right? So, you were kind of expecting him to come back, but then like that was by May or April WrestleMania time.
And they had a good match on SmackDown. They looked like they haven't lost a step. So it's
against the Ascension, right?
It's a very positive thing for the tag team division, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that the WWE have done to keep quiet, and I applaud them for that. That was great.
Yeah, man. I mean, I admit that I didn't really look through any dirt sheets or any of the websites just before Raw. I did look straight after SummerSlam, and I did hear about Sting coming back into New York. So that's when I only knew about the Sting rumors. But then after that, I didn't really look into it in detail. So yeah, what else? What about Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman? They're like, I think they're the best duo in the WWE
for a very long time.
Yeah, ever since I think Brock Lesnar debuted again or returned in 2012. Even though Heyman's promos have been very similar and they've just been they've had the same structure. Brock Lesnar in the ring, just jumping around and just looking.
But I guess people like it because Brock Lesnar really carries the presence. You know what I mean?
He has that aura. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm glad that they're keeping him the beast. Like there's been times before where they've had monster characters, either monster heels or monster baby faces, and they've just ruined them. Ruined their characters, yeah. Lord Tensai, and now he's
I don't know. I used to be scared of him when I was a kid, man. A-Train was.
Yeah, he was huge. Yeah,
he was huge, and then suddenly, bring back Tensai, and he becomes like this dancing. They done it with what's his face? I forgot his name completely. The Russian one who teamed up with Santino Marella.
Oh yeah, Kosorov.
Kozlov.
Kosolov, I know you're talking about, yeah. Yeah, he was meant to be a beast, and look at Rusev now. He was meant to be a monster heel. Now he's stuck with Summer Rae, Lana, and Dolph Ziggler.
I personally, I don't know if Dolph Ziggler's really happy with how he's, his current situation in WWE. I don't know how he feels inside.
I think I read an article recently. It talked about how Ziggler was happy that he signed the contract again. He said that he only did it because of his love for wrestling. So I guess I guess he's happy as long as he's wrestling.
Yeah,
I guess he's one of those guys.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten rid of 3 people, to be honest with you, because they're not using them at all. Damien Sandow, Zack Ryder, and Curtis Axel.
Yeah, they disappeared completely, innit?
Damien Sandow especially, he carried a lot of momentum.
Yeah, it's That's the thing about WWE though. Like they have good moments and the bad moments, and they just when you're getting fed up with it, it just comes up with something good, or like, you know, an epic return of someone, or just a cool wrestling match during Raw, and it just sort of drags you back into it.
Yeah.
Because I remember this is exactly what was happening to me. I think during the Summer of Punk.
Oh, Summer of Punk.
Yeah, I remember that. And after that died out, after a few months, I was like, I remember there was some lackluster Raws, and I was just like, oh, this is so crap. This is getting so boring.
No, they were.
And then the Shield appeared.
Randomly, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then I was
like,
whoa, like this is awesome. Like this
is the best faction to happen in the past, decade or so.
Yeah, I think they're in my top 5 factions in wrestling history. Yeah. Won't get to ranking them yet. That's for another podcast.
It's another, yeah.
Yeah, they're in the top 5, and yeah, the Shield came, and then when they broke up, that was another storyline that was very interesting. And then once Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins kind of like that feud kind of broke apart once Bray Wyatt kind of interfered, which was I think the wrong booking decision. I don't think they should have just shoehorned Bray Wyatt into that.
Yep.
But once they did, that's when it started to go downhill again for me. And then Sting came back. Sting made his debut for WWE, and then I was hooked again.
Everyone went nuts.
Yeah, I was hooked since then. I've just all this time since Sting debuted, I've always had a feeling that Sting could be here, Sting could be using this storyline. So I've always just watched every Raw since then, and with great interest. So I guess I'll be lost after Sting retires.
Oh man! But back to Mr. Lesnar.
They've kept him a beast, which is perfect. I guess they can't really change his character because of his contract, and he's like
they won't change his character.
He's their biggest star, so.
Oh man, for sure.
So there's no way they're gonna change his character, and it's best to do that. And with Paul Heyman, do you think he should just stick with Brock Lesnar until he comes back, or he should move to another wrestler? Like apparently there was rumors of him and Finn Balor.
I heard those rumors. Yeah,
one day.
It's experimental, but Brock and Heyman just have the perfect chemistry. I can't really see him with. Remember remember Heyman and Cesaro.
It just doesn't work with anyone else. It's like because CM Punk and Heyman was natural.
That was great.
Heyman and Lesnar was natural. So anyone else apart from that, it just doesn't seem right, and I don't think people accepted it.
Finn Balor.
I don't think Balor needs Heyman.
Yeah, he doesn't need him.
Yeah, he doesn't need him. But if that happens, I guess
as long as he doesn't have a match with John Cena,
talking about Cena, let's just talk about Cena for now. And
John,
do you think he's been bad for the WWE product recently, or do you think he's been good since the start of that US Open Challenge? Or are you glad to see that he's been kicked out of the world title picture?
There's so many things, pros and cons. The one con is that look what he done to Rusev. After winning
well, not just Rusev though. Look what he's done to like everyone apart from Daniel Bryan, apart from CM Punk, apart from.
I feel sorry for Kevin Owens. Seriously, like he was carrying a whole lot of momentum.
Yeah, I think that's not John Cena's fault. I think that's more Kevin Dunn and some of the backstage stuff. But yeah, I think Kevin Owens he'll have his time. I think
because he was a hot man. I used to watch him during when he was in the Indies. And damn, I was thinking to myself every time I saw him, I can't wait to see him in the WWE. But I had a feeling in the back of my mind they might have ruined him. But I really hope they don't.
In a way, they haven't really. Like I think since there's as long as Triple H is there, he won't freefall. He will stay, in that mid card or upper mid card level. He's now feuding with Cesaro, or is that finished now?
I think that's. Let me try. I don't know if that's finished. It's kind of he's feuding with that caliber of opponent. So I guess mid carders.
Yeah, he's gonna. I think that's the lowest he'll go, and in
hopefully
future,
no lower, man. He doesn't deserve any lower.
Yeah, I mean
it's too good.
It's sad when they influence the crowd to like call him fat.
Get a person of his size to do a backflip off the second rope is crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's not right when they try to get the fans and the audience to call him fat and take shots at his shape and his body. Like, the guy, he might be a bit, round.
Yeah, but he's athletic as hell, man.
He's one of the most athletic guys I've seen, like, in recent memory. So, so he'll get his push. He's got that win against Cena under his belt, so he's got something to build on, I guess. And he just beat Cesaro as well, and Cesaro. Everyone loves Cesaro.
Yep.
So,
but Cena,
I don't think I don't think KO is in any jeopardy at the moment.
But Cena's current, what do you think his current state is at the moment? Where do you think he's going? What direction do you think?
He'll probably go for the US title again. I'm hearing rumors that Seth Rollins will pull double duty during Night of Champions. So that could be one of the reasons how Seth Rollins loses his WWE title, because he probably might have a long match against Cena early in the show, and that'll keep him weak for the match against Sting, and that could make him more realistic if Sting was to win clean, if Rollins was already tired after that match.
I don't see a clean win, man. Someone's going to interfere. That's my opinion. I can't see it.
That's one of the things I was going to talk about as well. Is the screwy finishes. There's not been I wouldn't say there's a lot. It's just that they rely on it a lot when they can't make a decision on who should win.
But I got to say the Jon Stewart one was kind of entertaining.
The Jon Stewart one, like, is some people don't like celebrities being involved with WWE, but he's done
a good job.
Yeah, that's just how WWE is. There's always going to be celebrities, but what they did with Stephen Amell, aka Arrow, I love that show, and I love that match with Neville and Barrett and Stardust.
He took some good bumps as well.
Yeah, the guy is like a pure wrestling fan.
Yeah,
and he's been shouting out to get into Raw, into WWE, to get involved in some sort of feud, and he got that, and I think people want him back. I guess the fans want him back one day.
No, we'll see him back.
Not too soon, but obviously, if he ever comes back, we all know he can deliver like an entertaining feud or entertaining match another time.
I mean, he's an actor, so that means he'll do good promos for sure.
And he does all his own stunts, so he's perfect. Exactly. He's the perfect celebrity for someone.
And he's athletic as hell, so got perfect actor right there.
Yeah, and speaking about the screwy finishes, the Jon Stewart one was entertaining.
It was a good one.
The Brock Lesnar and Undertaker one, you can see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I guess with Brock Lesnar, they didn't want him to lose. Even though it's the Undertaker, they can't let him lose to like, how old is Undertaker? Like 50 years old? But they had to still get Undertaker, get his revenge.
Yep.
So looking back on it, it was probably the only finish that was possible.
It got mixed reactions, didn't it? From
at the time when I watched it, I was like, what's this? It's just another, screwy finish, and it's just the easy way out for them.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, I guess it was the best thing at the time to protect Brock Lesnar's character and aura, and to set up maybe the rubber match between the two, so to get Undertaker to actually officially win the match. So
the rubber match.
Yeah, I guess there's some screwy finishes that are okay, and there's just some that seems like the WWE just don't know what they're doing, and they just seem like it was just that it wasn't. They didn't have any sort of plans or ideas, so they just went with that.
Last minute panic backstage. You're like, oh crap, we can't do this.
Yeah, like I think we mentioned it just before. When last year when Bray Wyatt interfered Dean Ambrose's match, there was no need for that, but for some reason they just did it.
When Bray Wyatt interfered in the Money in the Bank match as well.
Yeah, I think that one.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, that was unexpected, and it's building up to something, I think, big. I
hope so.
I'm not sure who will join up with Ambrose and Reigns.
Who do you think?
At the moment, no one off the top of my head is coming to mind. But I actually thought during Raw when that, what's his name, Braun Strowman.
Oh, that was cool, man.
When he came out, I thought, the most likely guy at this moment in time could be The Rock.
That's a bit far-fetched, though.
Yeah, it's far-fetched, but I thought since the Dudley Boys came back, and that was a surprise, and I knew Sting was gonna, arrive somehow, and I thought it's New York City, Brooklyn, The Rock. You never know. yeah, and Roman Reigns is his cousin. So I thought, and the Rock is big enough. Like he's big enough to realistically have landed some blows on Braun.
But obviously they need to make Braun look strong because Braun is like he is big as hell, you know.
So and then and then once that segment just played out, you could see that they're trying to make him manhunt like one of these, you know, big, huge monsters. And
I mean, he's a former weight world champion in
strongman, yeah.
Strongman.
Yeah, and then I realized like the Rock isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
So
he's 6'8" as well, so he's a huge guy. Exactly.
The only one that I see, and this will be the most predictable one, is Eric Rowan, just joining up with Ambrose and.
You think that's what I think as well? I have
it's not
feeling.
what I think. I think that's the one I think WWE will probably go for. It's not the one I want, but at the moment, like who is big enough, and who would make the most sense to join up with them to fight those three?
Because Eric Rowan will probably feel like he's the outcast, and
yeah, exactly. They teased it, or they actually went with it when he was when he attacked Luke Harper, and I remember he had some matches with Bray Wyatt early in the year, so he's had that babyface run, and
I mean he's the same height as Braun as well. So if they do a Braun versus Eric, I haven't seen Braun in the ring really.
Yeah.
I mean I know he had a few matches in NXT, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 matches. I'm not too sure, but I guess if he's solid enough, that would be a good match.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to book him similar to Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah.
Like squash matches, and just make him like very fearful, someone that should be feared.
So I don't know, probably like for sure I see next week happening Zack Ryder versus Braun Strowman. That's gonna happen sometime.
Yes, someone's Bo Dallas
that's gonna happen sometime soon.
If you can call out his grave after those suplexes, but it's gonna be someone like Bo Dallas or Zack Ryder fed to Braun.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's not enough with Zack Ryder to come out and be manhandled by Braun. It needs to be someone has a little more credibility.
I can't see who else. I wouldn't put Cesaro in there because
Cesaro has to be avoided, I guess. But
Josh, how about Josh from Tough Enough?
That's too soon though.
That's
way too soon. I mean, talking about Tough Enough, I guess we can just get straight onto that. Do you think
that's a good transition? Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a transition. Yeah. Do you think Tough Enough has been good this season, or do you think it's gonna end up the winners are gonna end up the way the winners ended up in the last few seasons?
I mean, some of it was for me because I followed Tough Enough. Some of it for me was really unexpected. For example, when Patrick got eliminated, I thought Patrick was gonna win.
Yeah, I think in the old Tough Enough
as well.
In the old Tough Enough seasons, did they rely on the audience to vote, or was it just the judges?
I forgot. I completely forgot, man.
And talking about the judges, the judges weren't good.
You didn't like the judges?
I don't think they.
Comment.
It reminded me of X Factor. They did the decisions just purely to make a response and to get some sort of story happening for no reason. Like what was it? The one I remember was when The Miz, I think he got Marder. Was it Marder? He
that was
brought
disgusting.
Into the last 3.
Yeah, what happened was Miz he used to save, and he saved I think it was Amanda, and then Marder got voted. Marder was great. He would have been, his promos were quite good for
some of the contestants were awesome.
Patrick he was my favorite to win.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's gonna end up like the old seasons. I think the people that got eliminated earlier are gonna end up with actual contracts.
ZZ.
ZZ. I don't know. I saw that final match that he had with who was the Cesaro. It was Cesaro, yeah. And he just didn't look. He just didn't look like he was gonna make an impact wrestling wise. I know he has the charisma. Sometimes charisma gets you a certain length.
I think for me, the Sarah Lee winning was a good thing. That was in my humble opinion. Again, I think Sarah Lee winning was good. And I think the beef between her and Paige is because, like, to me, the images are almost the same.
Oh, okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously Paige is gonna have a bit of beef with her, and it'll be nice to carry on if they actually make something out of Sarah Lee.
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting to watch.
And then on topic of women, I think we've seen the good and the bad of women's wrestling in the space of a few months. We've seen the botched Divas Revolution. It could obviously be saved.
Yeah.
But it's so far been botched.
For me, because the beginning of the Divas Resolution, when they introduced everyone, all of them came in, the new divas, Becky, Charlotte, Sasha. That was cool. I found that really cool. I was like, yeah, they're doing something good. And
it was something different, it was just so boring watching, the divas already.
It's like
just doing the same matches, same tag team matches.
But here's the thing, you hit the nail on the head again. Because now they're doing the same matches every week.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing this.
Yeah.
They just threw 3 divas into
just
a
longer.
Team and did it with 3 different other teams, threw them together, and then they expect everyone to just be invested in it. But that's just not going to work.
They're just making it longer matches.
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
saying, we've seen the bad, and we've seen the good. The good in NXT. The NXT women's division is been spectacular.
That's great, man.
That's the way to do wrestling, and it doesn't matter if you're women or men. The way they're wrestling is just as awesome as watching.
Phenomenal, man.
Yeah, just as awesome as watching the men wrestle.
I just hope they do something with Emma.
Oh yeah. What is she doing? I always see her in.
She had a big win. She had a big win over the NXT show. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she had a big win, which was good for her. But
I only followed the Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch match. But
Emma had a big win, which was really good. But after the Walmart fiasco, they fired her for 2 hours and then she came back.
Yeah, actually, speaking on NXT, something that WWE has done wrong is the way they've brought some of the NXT talent into the main roster.
Yep.
We've seen Adam Rose, and his characters kind of failed.
Oh, that feels huge,
yeah,
man.
We've seen Emma going from NXT to the main roster. Didn't work.
She could have done good. She could have done good, but
exactly, she could have. And if they had done, I don't know if Adam Rose would have ever worked.
No. Fancy Adam as champion.
Yeah, who else came from NXT? Kevin Owens. He had that huge peak, and now he's kind of in mid card.
Neville.
He's the only one I would say that has been successful so far, and then I'll say Neville has been next.
Neville's been really good, actually. I like watching Neville. I love him.
Although they've made him recently drop to Kevin Owens, and they've thrown him into the feud with Stardust and King Barrett. So
but to be honest with you, the tag team division looks hot at the moment. I like it how it's going.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Did we mention the New Day?
No. Everyone started off hating the New Day. I remember everyone was like,
yeah. Sometimes what WWE need to realize is that when things happen organically, that's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best for the WWE and best for the fans. It happened with The Rock.
Yeah, the funniest.
Happened with Stone Cold, and
now New Day.
And now fast forward all the way here to a tag team group or a stable that failed as a babyface, and now they were so bad that they became so good as a group that's hated. So they're by far the most entertaining aspect of WWE so far. Not even Raw, WWE. Did you see the interview with Michael Cole recently?
Oh yeah. That was.
I mean, they come up with so many entertaining ways to
even on Monday night when Xavier brought the trumpet and started playing the trumpet.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't know why other superstars or why they don't let other superstars be creative in the way they enter the ring and have their matches. Because the New Day, they're entertaining as soon as they walk out. So the entrance is always different and awesome.
And
it's something different. And then just before the match, there's always something with Xavier Woods. He's always bickering the commentators.
Yeah.
And then the match starts. Their matches are awesome because they're all 3 great wrestlers.
They're good wrestlers for sure.
Their matches are always entertaining. And then straight after the match, the celebrations are hilarious. And then when they go backstage, you see some of their segments backstage are awesome again. Every part of their act is just
I remember
10 out of 10.
a few weeks back. they interfered in the match, and all three of them came running down the ring, skipping, and they held up a sign saying, "Greatest Daddy" or something. And the way that they were skipping was
they're taking the cat of Titus O'Neil, innit?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think Vince McMahon just let them run with it the way whichever way they wanted.
They've done great.
I think they need to do that with some of the other wrestlers, because a lot of what Vince McMahon does, and maybe Kevin Dunn, they are always micromanaging what they're doing, what their superstars are doing.
Yep.
And it's hurt them. Like we've seen it firsthand with Roman Reigns' fuckerin' fucktash.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, yeah, you had to bring that up.
Yeah, but
that was the most awkward promo that I've seen in a long time.
I know I felt sorry for Roman, and since then I think he's recovered. He's recovered well, apart from whenever he's been in front of smart crowds, like Brooklyn recently, and Chicago.
But he gets booed.
Yeah, he gets booed, but I just think in those cities, I think he gets booed just for the sake of being booed. And that's what I think now. Like after WrestleMania, I think he deserves to be at least, cheered and appreciated for his hard work, because he's literally worked so hard to like get back up and recover. Because that main event in WrestleMania was epic.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And Roman's improved in selling, and he's improved. I would say he's improved a little bit on the mic, but I think his act shouldn't be focused on mic work. We shouldn't be really talking about Roman Reigns' promos. We should be talking about his intensity, his intensity in the ring, and the way
how he was with the Shield. He was really, intense. He was really intimidating.
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted to go for, because they kept his music, they kept his ring attire, but then they tried to make him into a John Cena 2.0 with his promos.
Yeah, I need to watch that Suffering Succotash one. That was amazing. Amazingly hard to watch.
Amazingly bad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next topic, which is a really good topic that we picked for tonight, is the 3-hour Raw.
Oh my days.
Is it too long?
I knew it was too long since the day they introduced it. I remember they used to save 3-hour Raws. I remember they used to save 3 hours for their shows when there used to be pay-per-views.
PPVs, yeah.
Yeah, only for the pay-per-views. They used to save the 3 hours for the pay-per-views, and then they used to make it 4 hours just for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then they made Raw 3 hours, and it was just such a good opportunity for them to just drag out the events that's going on Raw, the segments in Raw, and it hasn't. I don't think it's worked.
They haven't taken the ball and run with it.
And what's baffling for me is that they, the last Raw, they threw 8 guys together in an 8-man tag match, like they didn't have enough time to be able to build on those feuds in that extra hour. But it's kind of baffling. But
and SmackDown's just
basically we agree that they need to go back to 2 hours as soon as possible.
Which a lot of wrestling fans
that will then make it more streamlined again, and it will just be more interesting to watch, I guess.
The endings will be a lot more better, in my opinion.
Like I remember back when it was 2 hours, and I used to be able to watch Raw live without any problems. But now a 3-hour Raw, I record it, and then I fast forward through a lot of sections. So yeah, we agree now that 3-hour Raws is not good. It's no good.
Yeah, it's not, man. It's not good at all. It's no good.
And speaking about their shows,
SmackDown
being, it's just a watered down version of Raw.
I remember when I was looking forward to watch SmackDown every Friday night, when it was on Friday nights, and the big fist, the stage. That's when it was really, really good. And now it's just like I don't watch SmackDown anymore.
That was back when Paul Heyman was the writer, the lead
writer.
of SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly.
But as I was mentioning, that it's like Raw's become a childish version of the classic Raws back in the day, and then SmackDown is just like a sort of, we just mentioned the watered down version of Raws now.
Yep.
But it's just stuff with highlights of what happened in Raw. It's like there's no point for SmackDown really. I guess it's an excuse for them to sell tickets and get extra
get extra money.
Yeah, get extra money and get extra profit. because they will sell those shows out, it's extra TV time, I guess.
I guess the only solution is 2 hour Raw back to the brand split again. It'll be something, you know.
Yeah, and I think the brand split. Yeah, speaking of the brand split, I think it would benefit the Raw star.
Oh,
both the males and the females. I think back then, it seemed like every wrestler had something to do.
Yeah, they did. They for sure they did.
Like when we were speaking about what we were talking about earlier, a lot of the wrestlers are just being thrown into feuds. You know.
And then I remember they used to always do the SmackDown versus Raw thing during Armageddon, if I'm not mistaken. The pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was awesome as well. Like it was good to see two different shows with two different sort of themes and
the Survivor Series matches used to be a lot better.
Yeah, Raw versus SmackDown teams, isn't it? Yeah, and I'm actually not sure. Do you know why they, kind of merged Raw and SmackDown again?
It just kind of like faded away. I don't know how it really went, but it just kind of faded off, really. But they should bring it. That's one thing that the fans would love, because I remember, watching the not ballots, like the drafts.
Yeah, the drafts.
Oh, those are great. It's like you're waiting for your favorite character to be put on SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah. And I remember back then when I used to like John Cena. I'm not saying I hate him, but back then when he was one of my favorites.
Same, yeah.
And he came onto Raw with the WWE title, and I was just like, yes. This is gonna be sick.
Good.
Yeah, moments like that is. I think one of the best things about wrestling is when you don't see a wrestler for a long time on your show, and then they return or they debut, and they have that huge pop.
Zack Ryder
from the crowd. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but yeah, that's one of the best things about wrestling when you see a wrestler return or make their debut. And it's like a signal of something fresh starting for the show or for a storyline.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes when you have the same wrestlers and the same roster for so long, there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much.
Yeah, with that talent. But speaking about storylines again, I think I don't get why it's so hard to write meaningful feuds for all the wrestlers. Like, what is hard about it?
Like I said, I think it comes back to no brand split again. Because like you said, if there was a brand split, everyone would have something to do.
Yeah.
And it would be great feuds.
I guess, yeah.
Because everything's just everywhere at the moment. It's just messed up.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like, what we gonna do? What we gonna see with Undertaker now, and what's gonna happen to Randy Orton now that he lost to Sheamus, and
yeah, Randy Orton.
What's up with Kevin Owens now and Cesaro now that they've had their match? Are they just gonna be thrown back together again and go for a few more matches?
Yes, that's another thing. Why the Undertaker status? What's gonna happen to him?
Oh yeah, Undertaker. I have no idea. I think that it's obvious that he's gonna have his rubber match with Brock Lesnar down the line. I'm just not sure if
Survivor Series.
I think the next time we'll see him is Survivor Series or the build up to Survivor Series. I think.
Well, at least he's worked 3 pay-per-views this year. If that's the case,
Yeah. Speaking about that, I think people are speculating that he won't retire next year. And they're using the fact that he appeared in, as you said, 2 pay-per-views, and he's potentially going to appear in the 3rd one.
I don't think he's going to retire next year, man. I can't really see it, but then again, I can. It's kind of.
I think people are fooled because his last few matches have been with Brock Lesnar, and anyone that's wrestled against Brock Lesnar will look like they're about to retire after.
Yeah.
So I guess everyone's been a bit unfair on him, and I guess we're all underestimating how far he can go.
But I think
and remember, he's about 6 or 5 years older. No, not older, younger than Sting.
Yeah, he is.
And recently on Raw, we saw how well he's moving and how fast he's going.
Sting's great for his age, in my opinion.
I know, like apart from that bald spot, I think Sting is in great shape. He's looking good. So if that's possible for Sting, I think Undertaker. I think he has at least another 2 years.
2 years left.
It's just the fact that his streak is gone, and that was the best thing about it.
Kane's almost take his age, and Kane is still doing really well. He used to appear every Monday night. He used to wrestle.
I know, but about Kane, his matches aren't really um, the- we all know we all know Kane. Although he's
I love Kane.
yeah, Masked Kane. We can't doubt that he's Masked Kane is great.
The segments are going to be great again if that happens.
Corporate Kane is his matches aren't that how do I put this politely?
Where's J&J?
What if they feud with Dudley Boys and the New Day and primetime players? Suddenly they're thrown into the tag team title.
I wouldn't
picture.
mind. That would be nice. No.
They were entertaining. I found Jamie Noble funny.
No, they were funny. I like them. They were good for, you know.
Does Jamie Noble really speak like that? Is that really his accent?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was he just exaggerating it? Because I know
No.
he's from, you know, I thought, was it Texas or where is he from? Man? I don't know. It just seemed like he was exaggerating his accent, and then
I think that's how he really speaks.
Every time he would speak, it was it was hilarious. Especially that time when he was saying he was the authority's secret weapon.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? But that was funny, man. And yeah, well, I think we're gonna see the return of JJ soon and Kane.
Daniel Bryan, do you think you'll ever be cleared to wrestle again?
You know what? I think we'll see him return, but I don't think he will be thrown into the main event picture. I think he'll feud with someone. I'm not sure yet, but I think he will return. And because I think WWE are panicking now and they're scared of him getting another injury or concussion.
Yep.
They're probably gonna just put him together with someone like, I guess, Stardust or someone of that caliber.
Because building up to WrestleMania and obviously the roads before, well, not the roads, the shows before, he was the face of WWE in my opinion. Everyone was on his side.
Yeah,
you know, the whole Yes movement.
He's like the ultimate underdog, and everyone loves underdogs. And someone like Daniel Bryan, he was the perfect underdog for WWE, and he was so easy to like follow and support. So there's no doubt we're gonna see him soon. I'm just not sure when. We'll probably see him by WrestleMania next year.
Or before that, probably at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Just make a surprise.
They'll probably finally let him win the Royal Rumble.
They'll probably make him
after the third attempt.
Surprise entrant.
Yeah, I think by now they're gonna realize whoever we're gonna choose to win the Royal Rumble, they're gonna get booed regardless.
The last two Royal Rumbles sucked, man.
Yeah, and that was mainly due to Daniel Bryan. So I think they realize now that they got to make Daniel Bryan at least in the final two.
I don't see people booing Daniel Bryan anyway. I don't think it's going to be a repeat of, you know.
Yeah, the only way people will boo someone like Daniel Bryan is if they overuse him.
Yeah.
And he like overuses his yes chant, and he just becomes exactly like the New Day, the beginning of New Day. They were just what they were doing, and they were just so repetitive, and their gimmick was the gimmick was just going on and on with the same thing. And if Daniel Bryan, does that, you never know. With wrestling fans, they probably just turn on him. And speaking of someone that could or will keep doing the same thing, I think Dolph Ziggler needs a change in his gimmick or his character.
He needs a belt around his waist, and he needs some, because he's caliber that can actually, he's championship caliber.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm not sure how long this feud with Rusev is going to go on for.
Rusev.
I think the best way to end that feud is have Lana turn on him.
Yeah.
Go back with Rusev.
Yeah.
And then have an actual meaningful feud with Rusev, and then drop that feud and get thrust into the main event spotlight again. And speaking about that, I think they need to split up the titles again.
What do you think is gonna? Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, then it gives more things to do for more people.
Yeah, speaking about that, yes, it relates back to the brand split.
They should do that.
Have one title only allowed to be challenged on one brand.
It'll make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and then have like the US title only allowed for the Raw shows, and have the Intercontinental title be challenged on the SmackDown shows. Just like the NXT title is only allowed to be put up on NXT, right? Even though I think didn't Kevin Owens put it up?
Yeah, he brought it to Raw.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Well, I really like when he powerbombed Machine Gun Kelly. Though. That was kind of like.
Yeah, moments like that, like
That's good.
I like the way when moments like that when WWE celebrities in that way. That was fun. It was fun to watch. They could at least made that whatever thing he fell on at least a bit more harder.
Yeah, it was like a cushion.
Yeah, it just seemed like a cushion. At least like make it break some way and make it a bit more impactful.
Oh, it was good to watch, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but yeah, there's not enough moments like that though. It's not enough like unpredictability. That's the reason why Brock Lesnar is the biggest star at the moment. He's unpredictable. His matches are just violent.
Yeah.
And that's what we all like. We like violence.
What about
when
Sting?
it comes to fighting, or combat sports, or anything similar, people want to see violence, obviously, and they want to see blood, and they want to see sweat, sometimes tears, and that's what you always get in Brock Lesnar matches. You always get blood. You got blood in the Undertaker match. You got blood.
Oh,
he was the one that was bleeding against Undertaker, and he was the one that was bleeding as well against Roman Reigns.
another thing that Brock Lesnar matches have, they're not PG. Because at the end of the Taker match, you saw that gesture, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things. Like, if
People
they
love.
can do that with Brock Lesnar, they should introduce more characters that push that boundary a bit more. I guess Kevin Owens can do that. He's set up for that sort of.
They just need to push boundaries. That's all they need to do. They need to make things less PG, as you know. It's the biggest solution.
I think it all changed ever since WWE went, I think, public with their company.
Yeah.
And they have shareholders, and they got people that own the company, and I think those people want more of a family friendly show product.
Family friendly.
And you can't do that. You can't have a good relationship with those business partners or whoever if your product is promoting things like bloody violence and middle fingers, things like that.
I mean, it used to be. It's what gets viewers, as we can clearly see from the statistics.
Exactly, yeah. But
And that's one thing a TV show wants. At the end of the day, you just want views.
yeah,
I think views needs money. So
I think what we should end with is: do you think WWE or wrestling in general can get back to that boom period when it was in the Attitude Era?
the question. In my opinion, it can. They just have to utilize the new talent properly. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's all they need to do, because the new talent is great.
I think they can all start once the old or the part-timers just stop. I think once Undertaker's gone, once Sting is gone.
I don't see Brock calling it quits anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention Brock Lesnar because they kind of need him to keep it afloat. But I think once the part-timers, apart from Brock Lesnar, they leave, and then that will give more time for the current talent to flex their muscles, flex their talent, and have more time, TV time especially. And then, do you think this current crop of wrestlers or talent can get wrestling back into the mainstream again, like it was in the late 90s and in the 80s?
That was like, I don't think we could ever see anything like the golden era ever again.
I think one of the main points is I don't think it's down to the wrestlers. I think, unfortunately, there's not enough competition anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like, good competition. You got Lucha Underground, you got Ring of Honor, you got TNA, but they're not on the level of WWE. Sorry, and
They also money
that's
talks.
going to keep the ratings quite low, I think, for some time, until like somehow, let's just say something shocking happens and Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, TNA, they just merge together and they create this huge wrestling promotion.
Well, I think that I expect to see a lot more surprises in WWE, like more people entering. So a lot more people that
But who's got that star power to be able to make those sort of surprising appearances again? Because I think the very last one was Sting, but you can argue with Kurt Angle could be next. But then other than that, I think the only others will be, off the top of my head, it will be Jeff Hardy, maybe
Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, Stone Cold.
One more match,
Yeah, Stone Cold. So you got Stone Cold Kurt Angle. You got maybe Jeff Hardy.
Because when you mention Stone Cold, that is pure star power right there.
Yeah, that's like instant mainstream.
That's man. the amount of people that...
but we listed 3. That's not really. Wrestling needs to rely on the wrestlers they have and the talent they have, because when it was that boom period in the late 90s, it was because of the wrestlers that they already had. The WWE made The Rock. WWE made Stone Cold. WCW made Sting. They made Goldberg. They didn't like. Yeah, Goldberg. I know they like, they introduced or they involved people like Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart in some of those feuds. but there was homemade stars back then, and those were the stars that kept the
I guess
up.
Like the new homemade star, Dean Ambrose is going to be one for sure. I can't see him.
If they let him be more free.
If they let him be John Moxley. Or
well, I mean, Dean Ambrose is the way he is. I mean, I think as long if they give him more mic time and give him a better feud,
Dean Ambrose will be huge. If he's not huge, he's huge already. But I mean, huge.
Yeah, and allow him to push the boundaries the way Brock Lesnar can.
Yeah, I think he's probably like my top for like ultimate success in the WWE.
And he is funny when he wants to be.
He's great. He's a great. People pay to see him. A lot. The majority.
Yeah, and speaking about entertaining, and speaking about entertaining and funny, they need to bring back R-Truth for some more comedy relief. I think.
I don't know what they've done with him.
He's comedy gold. Yeah. Along with Bo Dallas, even though Bo Dallas gets killed every now and then, the guy must have been resurrected like a million times by now. But I think Bo Dallas as that comedy relief character as well. They need people like that, and they need pure wrestlers like Seth Rollins and Ziggler. And once they mix those guys together in the same show, and mix with better storylines, better feuds, a little more violence, maybe not too violent. Since it's PG, I guess as long as they can push the boundaries and have more extreme matches with ladders and weapons and.
Oh, I know what I want. It'll be nice if they bring back more backstage fights. Back in the day.
Yeah, and that was one of the best things about the Shield. The Shield, I was so hooked on the Shield because they would fight amongst the crowd, and Seth Rollins would be jumping off the balconies and doing.
What's funny is what gets people hooked is not the fighting in the ring; it's the backstage and out of ring fighting. That's what people love.
All the backbone of the storylines and the wrestling.
Going backstage with I don't know. Imagine Seth Rollins and someone else like fighting in Triple H's office or something.
Yeah,
it's like, people love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Different uses of objects. It's fantastic.
And like recently, when this was live in the arena when Brock Lesnar trashed that car, I think what was it Chrysler or. Or Chevrolet. I forgot what car it was, but when he trashed J&J's car.
Yeah, people love that too. They love those type of things.
Yeah, like they can. This easily can be integrated into the storylines and into the show. But yeah, I guess we've discussed the state of WWE. We've talked about the good and the bad.
Yeah.
I guess for us wrestling fans, we're content. We're content. Yeah. At the moment, for me, I'm extremely happy because obviously Sting is involved with a main event storyline. But other than that, I think we're content with what's going on. The wrestling matches and the actual entertainment value of the wrestling matches is been the best I've seen ever since I started watching wrestling. The only thing that they need to improve is the storytelling and just the way they execute it, I guess. Have a bit more variety in the way they sell it. So have a mix of in-ring promos and backstage segments and outside segments.
Also, for sure. So too. That's why I want back, man. A lot of outside segments. That's my favourites. That's why I want. I'm pushing for that.
And just let the wrestlers just
be themselves.
Be themselves. Be able to react to the crowd. And just say what they want. Like that's one of the reasons why live TV is so live Raw is so engaging, because there's always that chance of something going wrong or something going off script.
Just one more thing before we end. The wrestlers themselves, I think they're really creative people. Personally, like for example, look at Bray Wyatt, and he writes his own promos.
Yeah, exactly. They're capable of it.
if they let more wrestlers do their own thing
Yeah.
and go their own, how they want to do it with their own character,
Yeah.
I think WWE could be a cracking show. Well, so
I mean, we know they're capable of it, and it's WWE. Like they're behemoth of an entertainment company.
they're huge.
Yeah, it's just they need to be more consistent.
Everyone.
There's more. There's for every awesome show like this week's, there's always 10 bad or boring shows
I'm not even
with
kidding,
one or
it's
two
not
segments here and there that are really good.
It's like not one person who I've talked to, from I don't know 60-year-olds to young people. They've all heard of wrestling,
Yeah.
and they all know. They either say, "Oh, what with the Rock, is the Rock still there? Stone Cold still there?"
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge. It's just that they need to take the ball again and run with it.
Yeah, and I guess we can end the podcast. I think we've covered all the main points.
It's been pretty good for the first one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's actually quite good. I
Yeah.
hope everyone else out there finds it.
Yeah, I mean, since this is our first episode and debut, we're a bit rusty.
Yeah, we're
I
very
guess.
rusty.
We're
not
very rusty, but we'll get better in time.
Yeah, we will.
We haven't really decided what we're gonna do in the next episode, but it will be either something about gaming or films or football. I think football would be the next one because the transfer window is closing.
Oh, yeah, that's actually the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think football.
I like
I think talking about football will be the next episode.
But I guess the next wrestling podcast we could do our review of Raw, and start off with a review of Raw and talk about.
I guess we can do like very short reviews of Raw every week.
Yep.
I guess
Yep.
we can throw that in.
But next will be football because the transfer window's done, almost done.
Yeah.
If Man United manage to sign anyone big,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a Man City shirt and just wear it around. But I don't think they will.
Yep. That is something we will discuss in the next episode. Thanks for everyone that has listened and tuned in. This has been a very long podcast for our first one. We've kind of just went freestyling everywhere, just going from one topic to the other. But yeah, to anyone that's tuned in and listened to our podcast, thanks for listening. And we will see you soon.